Welcome to this collection of 4 short stories from Portals by Eric Fomley. I'll be narrating Old Girl, Social Drones, Day 24 and Fragmented. This is a taster of what you can find in the rest of Portals, which contains 27 varied short stories with themes of robots, cloning, holograms, near future, and military sci-fi. I'm proud to be the narrator for the full Portals audiobook, which is available now on Amazon. So if you'd like to listen to the whole thing and support Eric Fomley, a fantastic independent sci-fi author, go check out Portals by clicking the link in the description. But for now, let's get to the stories, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Old Girl. He lets me ride up front all the way to the clinic, lets me hang my head out the window and feel the breeze rush through my hair the way he knows I like, but seldom lets me do. He doesn't talk to me the way he usually does. Even when we're sitting in the waiting room, he just stares at the tacky sailboat wallpaper and runs his fingers through my hair. I'm not sure what's wrong. None of this feels the way it did the other times we came to the clinic. I try to nestle in close to him, to comfort him, even though I'm not sure what it is that's bothering him. He pushes me down, and there's no brightness to his eyes when he looks at me. I feel the weight of his sadness on my heart, and I too sit and stare and wait. The doctor comes in and lays a blanket on the metal examination table. It's a dingy pink with cartoon characters from an old movie for kids. Master stands and helps me sit on the table. It's hard to sit on, even with the blanket there, and it hurts my butt to sit still. The doctor puts a hand on my back to steady me, looks down at me with a smile plastered on his face, doing his best to help me feel at ease. But why shouldn't I feel at ease? I've had shots and vaccinations so many times before. The doctor looks over to Master. How old is she? 87. Doc makes a low whistling sound. She's an old girl. What's wrong with her? He glances at my arms and legs, turns my face with his hand. She's not been herself. Doesn't have the energy she used to. Spends most of the day laying around. Well, that's pretty normal, especially at her age. Has she been getting sick? Yeah, she's been throwing up a lot. Blood in her stool. I can tell she doesn't feel good. My heart skips a beat. I'd wondered why he'd spent so much time looking at me the last few days. I swore it was just something I ate. Did he really think something more was wrong with me? Well, at her age, this kind of animal, you usually see the liver and kidneys go first. A lot of what you'll see is that sort of sickness before the end. I know. I put it off as long as I could. I just don't want her suffering. You did the right thing bringing her in. It's the hardest part of pet ownership, the doctor says. So that's what this was about. Dread tingles my spine. Cold clutches my heart. Do you want to be in the room? Master looks at me with those sad, dim eyes. Yeah. The doctor nods and turns his back to us, opening one of the cabinet drawers and grabbing a pre-packaged disposable syringe and a vial of clear fluid. I breathe out a ragged sigh. I don't blame my master. I'm not what I was. My health degrades each day. I did feel sick. I wasn't myself. Master pets me gently, holds me firmly on the table. I start to shake. Tears form in my eyes. The doctor grabs my arm, turns it over, exposing the veins. He sticks the needle in, flushing the reservoir. Master looks away to the wall behind me. A smile twitches at the corners of my lips. He's an old robot, but always kind to me. I felt his love. We'd had a good run together. I hope, as the chilly fluid swirls through my veins, that he finds another human to help comfort him in this lonely world. Social drones. Mum comes into my room before I'm out of bed. Her social drones buzz around her like horseflies already broadcasting at 6:30 in the morning. I told you I didn't want you to see that Vanessa girl anymore. She's trouble. I groan and sit up on my bed. My own little drones automatically lift off of the charging pad on my nightstand like it's an aircraft carrier and start broadcasting. A follow account appears at the top of my vision and a comment box to my left if I care to watch it. Mum's eyes are glazed over with a purple tint as she uses her implants to interact with her followers. I figure she's probably linking them to the conversation we'd had last week about my girlfriend. She must have seen the vids from my date with Vanessa last night. How is Vanessa trouble? I ask, getting my own followers caught up with the situation. My view account surges as all my followers get a ping that I'm awake, and my comment box floods with annoyed and angry comments and emojis. My mum isn't popular with my feed. Did you already forget about your recent trip to the principal's office? She crosses her arms. I roll my eyes. It wasn't even her idea. Drop the attitude, she says. You're not going down the right path with that girl. My daughter was never the troublemaker. That pisses me off. I think about saying something shitty but bite my tongue. What makes Vanessa a troublemaker, in Mum's eyes, started last week in Miss Clarkson's boring astronomy class. We were sending social link chats and Miss Clarkson told us to knock it off. So I sent Vanessa the idea that we both had to go to the bathroom. We cut class and roamed the halls the rest of the day until a teacher caught us and sent us to the office. Big whoop. Mum is just looking to squeeze all the juice she can get out of the drama here. My followers send head-shaking gifs, memes, and emojis. Come on, Mum, we've been over this. Vanessa hasn't done anything wrong. Why do you hate her so much? My chat box explodes with applauding emojis. We both take an aside to interact with our crowds, and I tell mine that I feel like Mum is just jealous of our follower surge. A lot of people are into our vanilla relationship. It's legit, not forced, and people in my comment box talk about how we're refreshing from the forced drama vids and fake arguments, content like what my mum broadcasts all day, every day to her followers. Her consistent hunger for good content and more views makes it hard for me to tell when Mum actually wants to have a genuine conversation. I don't hate her, Mum says to me after a few minutes with her followers. I just want what's best for you. I raise my eyebrows. Do you really now? Because what I'm hearing is that you want me to break up with my girlfriend because we skipped a few classes. That sounds like a pretty weak reason to me. You might not think that's important, she snaps, but it should be. You need to take your education seriously. It's what's wrong with your generation. You kids just don't care. And getting involved with a girl that makes you do stuff like that, rather it's you or her that comes up with the idea, should be a big red flag for you. Not to mention what it shows to all the other kids that follow your feed. You're setting a bad example for them too, you know. I sigh. It always finds a way to circle back to the importance of content with her. It was one time, Mum. We already talked about it and I said it wouldn't happen again. You told me to break up with her after a single thing happened, and it was my idea. Don't you think that's extreme? I love Vanessa, and I'm sorry that doesn't jive with you, but you're reaching for content here. Mum frowns and her eyes tint again as she reconvenes with her viewers. One of my followers takes the recorded vids of today and puts it on the web link, titling it Raw Footage of Teens Standing Up to Mum Who Is Jealous of Their Real Deal Streams, and cross-posts it to other streams. I get a huge influx on my view account, more than I've ever had before. New followers post in my chat box about what a bee my mum is being. A few send the strong arm emoji and other kudos to cheer me for sticking up for my relationship. After several minutes tinted over in her oculars, Mum finally comes out of it and looks at me with an expression I haven't seen in a long time. It's hard to describe, but it's something like a mix of sadness and having more she'd like to say to me. I wonder for a second that this moment might actually be genuine, that maybe she wants to have a mother-daughter moment with me for once. But then I wonder if it's really because she's too addicted to the opportunity to make content and is bummed that the same argument last week went a lot better for her viewership. I open my mouth to say something, maybe to ask her if she's being legit, but she says, "Whatever," and walks out of my room. Her viewers either massively dwindled, or her followers aren't on the same page with her actions. Either way, I'm sure she won't rehash this situation with Vanessa again. It's not good for her stream. As for me, I'm surprised by the amount of subscribes and follows I got out of this simple moment. I could get used to this kind of viewership. I give them all a few final remarks about Mum, enough to keep them hooked, and promise them more content later today. I shoot Vanessa a chat for when she wakes up. "I can't wait to see you," I say, and can't help but smile. My followers can't wait either. Day 24. I slip through the rocky crevice and crane my neck to listen. The cavern is dark, even for my modded eyes, but I don't hear or see the creature. I shuffle toward the branching tree of membranous sacs that hang from the ceiling in the center of the chamber, conscious of my echoing footfalls. Each pale, bulbous sac is full of water the creature retrieves from someplace deeper in the caves than I'm willing to go. I gently pull 2 sacs from the sticky mucus that holds them in place and lick my cracked lips. My stomach groans and I contemplate opening one here and now. Every muscle in my body aches from days of constant running. I don't have time to relax. There's a shriek in the darkness, a blur to my left. I'm not alone. I turn and sprint with my precious cargo towards the crevice. The skittering sound of 100 tiny legs echoes off the walls. My boot jams on a rock and I tumble forward. I twist in the air and grunt when I land awkwardly on my arm. One of the sacs bursts underneath me like a water balloon, drenching my side. The other one bounces a few feet away with a squishy rip. My arm aches from the fall, but I wrench myself to my feet and scoop up the other sac. It's ruptured. Water pours out of a gash in the top and drips down the sides. I cup the sack with both hands, trying to close the rupture as I run for the crevice. My legs burn from days of climbing and running from the creatures. The chittering is right behind me when I squeeze into the crack. I hold the water sack out in front of me, saying a silent prayer that nothing happens to it. When I wiggle through the other side, the creature screeches as it chases me through. I hold my breath. It looks like the creature will make it. It screams, so loud I almost drop the sack to clump my hands over my ears. Then it tries to retreat, too big to fit into the branching cavern. It's stuck. Hoarse laughter tears out of my throat as I watch the creature struggle. I hold up the sack for the creature to see through the crack. "Cheers," I say. The creature pulls itself out and skitters back the way it came. It has plenty of water already. Taking a few for myself here or there won't hurt it. I slump to the ground, lean my back against the rough rock and examine the damage. A lot of water has leaked from the membrane, but I can still hear plenty sloshing inside. It will be enough to sustain me, and for the moment I'm safe. I lift the sack, press the squishy rupture to my lips, and drink the nutrient-rich water, trying not to think of whatever process the water went through to get into the sack. When my thirst is quenched, I queue up my social HUD to write my daily post. Extreme Intergalactic Weight Loss and Fitness Challenge, Varro Caves, Day 24 of 30. As I think about what to write, I grab my sore legs and can't help but smile. The muscles are firm. I think I'm getting my money's worth. Fragmented. I'm climbing, doing my best to focus on the orange glowing handholds my HUD thinks are the best places to grab onto, and not over at Anne, who looks flawless the way she's bounding up the cliff face. "Hurry up, we're going to miss it," she says. My arms feel like they might fall off. My hands are sore through my nanofiber gloves, and my skin suit isn't doing much in the way of keeping me cool. My back is slick with sweat, and the fabric feels slimy as it slides across my skin. "What's the rush? I'm not a freaking free climb, bro." She giggles, a beautiful, sweet sound. "If I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise, would it?" I look at the upper edge of the cliff, so close, and push myself to focus. Anne beats me there, of course, and when she pulls herself up, she looks down at me with crossed arms and a smirk that basically says, "I'm better than you." It makes me smile. I hoist myself up with all I have left in me and roll onto my back to stare at the greenish-blue sky. I'm panting, which is made louder through my mask and helps remind me how out of shape I am. Anne sits beside me and lets her feet dangle over the edge. I can see the look of awe on her face as she looks out on the Varro horizon. I lever myself onto my elbows, and the sight nearly takes my breath away. We're well above the tree line and have a full view of the twin planets painting the skyline. The orange sun sets between them, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It looks like a holovid, but so much prettier. Whoa is the best word I can manage. "See? I told you it was a surprise." Our eyes lock and I smile. My heartstrings tug to share this moment with her, and I wish that things were different. As if she can read my mind, she asks me the one question I've been hoping she never would. "They don't know I'm dead, do they?" My stomach twists like someone's gut punched me. I feel a shrieking numbness crawl through my veins. The memory of our smouldering, wrecked survey pod scattered in the trees floods my mind. The twisted remains of the woman I loved so much. No, I haven't been back. I never told them. They probably think I'm dead. Her hologram starts to fragment, and suddenly it makes sense why she's asking. All I have left of her after the accident is a hollow reconstruction of her stored in my holofeed. I've used it sparingly over the last several days, but the last vestige of her has limited runtime that's nearly at an end. "Why haven't you been back? You have a whole life in the core. A career with ambitions, a bright future. Why walk away?" "What's the point of all of that if the person I want to share it with is no longer here? The future doesn't mean much when the end goal is you." She gives me a sad smile and leans her head on my shoulder. The hollow fragmentation gets worse. Pixels start to fade to nothingness, blurring her image. Her legs that dangle off the cliff are starting to fade. We don't have much time left. "You need to go back, have a life, be successful, grow old with someone. It doesn't need to end here on this planet. It doesn't need to end with me." "I don't know if I can do it without you," I say. My chest is tight, my throat thickens with a lump of sorrow. Tears blur my vision. "You're never without me. Not here." She reaches her hand to my chest, touching the suit where my heart is, then cups my face. More pixels deplete with each passing moment. Her arms and legs are nearly gone, and her torso is starting to fade. She's scarcely more than loose pixels on the breeze. I can't stop staring into her eyes, enjoying my last chance to take them in and sear them into my memory. "Do it for me," she says. "Please, do it for me. I love you." A smile tugs at her face and she fades to nothingness. "I love you too." I'm left staring at the rocks where she sat. Tears streak my cheeks and I pull my knees under my chin and sit in a fetal position. I loved her with all of me. My life was built around marrying her. I never could have anticipated the accident. Without her, I don't know what meaning I have. I remember her final words. "Please, do it for me." I hoist myself up, look down from the edge of the cliff, and start the downward descent. Alone. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed these stories, hit the like button and subscribe for more every Monday and Friday. To listen to the other 23 short stories contained in Portals, narrated by yours truly, follow the link in the description to Amazon. And while you're there, check out some of Eric Fomley's other work with Shacklebound Books. Or if you're staying on YouTube, next up you can listen to another 4 sci-fi flash fiction tales by clicking the link on screen now.